is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff. Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried. Sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And here we are on a Thursday at the Star in Frisco. This is Talking Cowboys, and Mickey with a fine salute as he settles in.
A grand entrance.
That's right, a grand entrance. He just got here in time. Rob Phillips has been sitting here for several moments anticipating the start of the show. Hello, how are you, Rob?
I'm great. I'm ready.
All right, and then here's Brian.
Is Broaddus, did they send him to the emergency room?
He's
what happened?
here. He's here.
He's in the emergency room.
Is he really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Somebody attacked Twitter, I think.
Oh, here he comes.
He's in the
marching in.
He's in the virtual ER.
Here you go.
All right, here
he is.
Here we go. In the grand entrance, here he is. The great Brian Broaddus joins us here on Talking Cowboys.
How we doing, guys?
Good. How you doing?
Are you any better?
No,
Oh, no.
I'm not.
Oh, I haven't heard.
You don't even have your phone, do you?
Nope.
Gosh.
That's why I hate Twitter. I hate Twitter. Folks, I hate Twitter.
I got to go.
All you
through
folks
Twitter.
that answer or send me questions, I appreciate you. I hate Twitter. I've taken the Mickey Spagnola approach.
He's lying. He loves
No, I don't.
He loves
I
it.
don't.
He's
I told
in
Derek.
mourning.
I told Derek Eagleton this is my opportunity to delete Twitter now. I'm done.
Too many people rely on you, buddy.
No, you
Yeah, they
hack
do.
me at 1:40 in the morning while I sleep. Some robot got me or something. I
really?
apologize to folks.
You sure it's not the Russians?
It might be, Mickey. I didn't want to point the finger at them right now.
Yeah, what
We're-
happened to your Twitter?
Yeah, exactly, Bill.
I
Exactly.
haven't looked. I'm afraid to look at it.
Don't. You might get the virus.
Oh, I got to get off it.
yeah, exactly. There's something weird about that thing going on.
Told you, emergency
happened?
room.
Yeah. I don't know. It's awful.
mean-
It's awful. And I apologize to all you folks that follow me. I apologize. I really, really do.
It's not your fault, man.
I didn't mean to ruin your evening.
So did people put, like, weird stuff on?
No, what happened? It was like a robot, just a repetitive message, just
Like the same one?
Yeah,
over
but
and
I was, to be honest with you, I'm so grateful it wasn't any derogatory, racially remarks, any of that stuff. Something that I would, that it's not me,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. And so this is my way of never having to deal with Twitter again.
Wow, I had no idea.
I appreciate that close up, Kent. Right there, folks.
What are you looking at?
I just looked at his Twitter.
And what are you seeing?
Nothing.
I'm seeing. Well, it does not. It has. Doesn't it? What was your image that you had?
In my picture of me and Bennett at San
Yeah,
Francisco.
that's right.
Yeah,
So it's now at blank or
Yeah, it
used
had
to be an
tweet-
egg.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are now. It's just a person, like a
Mercifully-
silhouette of a person.
We might need to all
And then it-
change our passwords. You know?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would.
And
Might be
then
next.
it has a dot and a check mark,
Yeah.
which is verified.
Yeah, I'm about to not be verified anymore.
Wow.
This makes me so mad. This makes me mad. And I don't mean to start here. We're 5 minutes in the show and I'm bitching about Twitter. I just hate it. I hate it with people. People.
Yeah,
have- No.
You enjoy answering people's questions, right?
I
And-
do,
and
but
interacting.
the problem is when
When they answer back.
when it gets to the point where now someone's timeline is completely jacked because of my stuff, that's not. What kind of crap is that? That's where I'm mad.
Sorry.
I'm mad because people are looking at it going, "Oh, Broaddus, you got hacked." Oh, yeah, I know it. I got hacked. I woke up this morning. I got hacked, and then you try and get it with Twitter. I'm sorry, this is Mickey's minute. Can't give me hit the sounder.
Yes, please.
Hit the sounder, Mickey, please.
Broaddus is 2 minutes.
I don't have it. I'm locked out of that machine right now.
Oh, no.
he's
Did you get hacked?
Now you got the
Yeah,
hack. You got
IT
the,
issues are
You got the
rampant this
virus
morning.
too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
happening around.
Okay, I try and change my password, and Twitter says, "Oh, you've used too many opportunities. You've exceeded your."
Oh, so somebody was trying to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
Maybe they changed your password.
they probably did, Kent. And it just gives me good reason not to deal with it
Hey,
anymore.
IT will figure it out.
Don't-
You'll be back online before you.
Yeah, I get. You know who I gave it to? How's everybody doing? Gave it to him today to try and figure out.
Jason Garrett?
Shannon.
It's not Jason Garrett.
Shannon.
What's up?
What's up, everybody?
I got this.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Twitter's on fire.
Is he
William, help me.
Is he better today?
Shannon?
Yeah.
I don't know. He
was.
I don't know, Mickey. This whole building's falling.
He was out
falling.
yesterday.
Yeah, it's falling down around us.
It's a bad omen for Cowboys Eagles.
I hope
No,
not.
it's
All
not.
these- all
no,
these
we're
issues.
keeping
And
it
I apologize
positive.
to everybody out there for coming in there all pissed off. My bad.
Well, it's understandable.
Yeah. I just don't. I hate it when it makes other people's lives kind of what they kind of look like what do they have to deal with all that. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to.
So they got to get rid of Broadus
They should.
so they don't get a bad tweet.
They should. They should.
How many
Absolutely.
followers did you have? I'll say it past tense. Now that you have to change
I do
everything.
know this number because I actually do care about it because
It was closing in on 100K.
it's almost at 99,000.
Yeah.
It's interesting that we bring this up off the top because I was going to ask you, do you know what has been your most liked or retweeted tweet? that
It's
you've
always
ever
stuff
had?
to do with the draft.
Right.
People love the draft.
Do you remember about how many it might get
No,
up to?
I don't. But it's anything to do with the draft. Folks love the draft.
How would you know that?
Well,
you tweet something and then it shows you the number of people who have liked the tweet or
Retweeted it,
retweeted
yeah.
it. In fact, the reason I ask, I had a tweet this week about Kyler Murray is the
Heisman Trophy.
is the
And it-
15th Texas high school football
Yeah.
product in the last 15 years to be named a Heisman Trophy finalist.
Right.
And
Good
there was
list.
somebody
It was a great
with,
list.
there was somebody with a lot of followers who must have retweeted it because it has
might have been the University of Oklahoma.
2,209 likes on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is, I mean, for me, I've got like 18,000 followers.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other time that I've had a tweet that came close to that and probably exceeded that was when I was covering the Rangers in spring training. It was the day after Darvish tore his UCL, his ulnar collateral ligament, had to have Tommy John surgery. The next day, he was out on the field throwing left-handed.
Yeah.
And I had video of him throwing left-handed.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, Darvish tore his ligament in his right elbow, so he's now a left-handed pitcher. Yeah. And I got so many Japanese followers.
Oh, sure.
And I guarantee you it had like 3,000 retweets in Japan.
That's
whatever. But anyway, so
about the
someone
draft.
with you with 100,000
it's
followers
during the draft.
there has to be
during the draft.
times where you had
during the draft.
so many.
We're going to get this thing fixed, and we're going to get you back on.
All right, appreciate that.
Because we need you on there. Because, like you said, draft-related stuff, even this season, like
just pisses me off.
yeah, we'll fix it.
I didn't know that counter was on there.
Yeah. So Mickey, no telling how many you've had.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eagles, right?
No, I know followers. I didn't know likes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the only thing people like when I do, when somebody has a derogatory comment about me and I say bye-bye, and then everybody thinks, haha, that's funny.
That's my favorite. I always like that one, too.
And by the way, since you're no longer on Twitter, Brian, you can't see this remark, but Ruben Cardona says, sorry to hear you don't like Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I really appreciate you answering my dumb questions.
You don't have dumb questions, Ruben. I appreciate your
go.
questions.
All
I
right.
really do.
All right.
Eagles
So,
week.
How's
All right.
everybody doing?
We're great.
Give us an update
for that.
Give us an injury update, Mickey. What do you know?
I'm sorry about that. It took 10 minutes. That's way too long for that. Go ahead, Mickey. What do you
I think the most critical ones are that.
Think about it.
Yeah, let me think about it.
Jump in for you.
I
Did
left
you just
my
get
sheet
compromised?
behind. Tyron Smith
I'm
was
sorry.
at least limited.
Yes.
So that was a step in the right direction. Cole Beasley, I think everybody was infinitely worried about him and his sprained foot that he finished the game with, was limited. So that was a step in the right direction. And
literally?
Suafilo was limited, so he was able to practice. And Zach Martin was listed as full. And that might be the first time it's been full since before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And
Way before
the knee.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the knee.
Shawn Lee was a DNP.
Shot, and that didn't change, and
Mickey's
David
right.
Irving didn't change, and Tavon Austin didn't change. Chidobe Awuzie was
Illness.
DNP, but he was sick.
Illness.
So that I don't want to say that's a good thing, but it's not an injury.
Yeah.
And the Eagles have their problems also, by the way.
They had a walkthrough yesterday.
Yeah, they
right?
had a walkthrough.
Well, Jalen Mills couldn't walk through. and,
Yeah.
Maddox, their backup corner, couldn't walk through.
They're
and
compromised.
Jason
They've
been missing
Peters
those guys.
couldn't walk through.
They're compromised there. This is where this game is going to hinge for me.
In the secondary?
Yeah, let's see if Dallas can take advantage of the secondary. You get some protection. Again, we talked about this yesterday, Bill. If Mickey's offensive line can hold up in this game, if they can just kind of hold up, if it means keeping a tight end or keeping it back, whatever you have to do, hold up, because you can make some plays against the secondary. I do believe that, and it might be early to back people off, so you can be able to run the football a little bit. This team always strives for balance, but it might be the good plan to go early pass and try and get some things going that way with the secondary.
It just comes down to finishing drives, though. Talked about it yesterday.
They've been awful.
Red zone, goal to goal. They're 31st, Bill. We talked about that yesterday in the league in finishing drives, goal to goal situations. Philly hasn't been great at it either. But, we talked to Cole Beasley about things yesterday. Offensively, he said, that we're happy to win the Saints game last week, but offensively we were frustrated with the way we played. Didn't score enough points. And so there wasn't – and it was a weird vibe in that locker room after that game. I mean, guys weren't elated.
Jacked up about winning the game?
They weren't elated with the victory. I think a lot of guys
expected it. Not like they expected to win the game.
Maybe. That and the fact that they didn't think they played well enough. They thought they should have maybe blown them out, honestly.
Yeah, we've had that happen.
How much do you think players are in tune with what us outsiders are
standings and stuff?
Yeah, about the perspective of the entire league.
Little, because Brad Sham and I sat there and talked with Tyrone Crawford the other day, and we were explaining the standings and
chest pains,
everything, and he was okay, and it's like, well, who do they have to play? It's like, the Rams, the Texans. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so where are they compared? And he had no clue.
See, I can understand that a player not understanding who the Eagles have left to play, but
Right.
you would think they would understand who they have left to play.
Oh, I think he understood that.
Here's what
part.
I heard an interview with somebody after a game. It was another team. I've been like Cortland Sutton or somebody with the Broncos, or I can't remember who it was. And they were being interviewed after the game, and he said, whoever we play next week, I'm going to do whatever. And I could not believe that this player, it sounded genuine, that this player really did not know who their next opponent was going to be.
Jason Garrett tries not to let them live in that world.
Right.
I mean, he truly, like what he says to us day to day, I think that's what he preaches to them too. Now, I think there's a point in time where he will say to them, all right, this is what we've got to do. But that time hasn't come yet. I mean, really, all they need to do is keep winning.
So my point on it is,
how could you not know?
My point, when you're talking about the Saints last week, okay?
Yeah.
We all know what the Saints have been tearing it up.
Yes.
But maybe in the perspective of the guys in the locker room,
how do you
they're
live
not
in that
paying
world?
That close of attention
how do you
to
live
it.
in a world?
And so they
knew how good they were, but they were
unless-
confident.
Yeah, unless Marinelli goes into the meeting and starts talking about the Saints offense and says, now, they've won 10 games in a row. We got to buckle down, something like that.
Well, remember on the Amazon show?
Exactly, Des.
Remember on Amazon? Yeah, like Des is like, well, aren't we any good?
Yeah, Derek Dooley was talking about the Broncos secondary and all the all pros and Pro Bowlers in the Broncos secondary last year, and Des took offense to it and said, well, what about us?
I guarantee you they got sick of hearing how good the Saints were from us.
From the
media.
Oh, they did.
They got tired
without question.
But Tyrone told us the other day, too, like he doesn't really watch football outside of film, studying for the week. So, maybe guys they go home and they have lives and they do other things.
And the other thing is, which we can even see when we're looking at coaches' film and stuff, that there's a fine line a lot of times between getting up on a team, winning a game, whatever, that comes down to certain plays, and you know that they've been coached during the week that these are the weaknesses that the Saints have. If we can take advantage of this, then we have a chance to win the game. So that builds confidence that, okay, we can do this. And so then they expect to score touchdowns rather than kick field goals against the Saints on offense, to put it in perspective of our conversation here.
Somebody made a comment. They were asked about a team, and the answer was, well, I haven't started watching tape on them yet, but as we were getting ready for such and such game, we saw them
play,
on tape. And it's not like they sat at home and, it's Thursday night, let me set the DVR because I'm watching this game tonight, And picture this. Do you think Zeke has sat at home and looked at the standings and said, if we win 2 more games, we're going to clinch the NFC East. You know, because I can do the math on all. Can you picture him sitting there detailing everything?
Why do I want to believe that these guys do know? Why do I want to believe that?
Because people probably tell them. I think guys hear things, but I don't know.
I just don't know how you can play a whole season or get to a certain point and not know what you have to do.
It's actually a pretty good deal if you don't.
Well,
oh no, trust me, it's a great deal if you. I mean, I'd rather go cook crawfish than sit there and have to deal with it.
All right, let me ask you this: when you were in high school playing for W.T. White.
College, I knew how we were going to get into a bowl game.
Yep.
I knew you had to win a conference championship. You had to beat Mississippi State. You had to beat. You figured it out.
In general,
I drove. Hey, real quick, I for us to get in the Sugar Bowl in 1984, I drove with 2 other buddies from a bar in Baton Rouge to Birmingham, Alabama, so I could watch Alabama beat Auburn, so us to get in the Sugar Bowl. That's on a Friday afternoon. I did that. Yeah. Maybe I'm weird.
No.
Maybe I want to, because in scouting I did. In scouting I knew, okay, you got to win 10 games. Mm-hmm. What's the combination to get to 10 to get you in the playoffs? Sometimes it doesn't work, but a lot of times it does.
I think if guys are on Twitter, they probably read some of this stuff or people tell them. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that guys don't know the Eagles' schedule the rest of the way. Their head coach tries to lock them literally on what they're doing on Thursday today, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And I think they buy into that. I really do believe that. Now, do they know the other standings in the division? Yeah, but going like deep dive, next gen type crap, no, they don't. And I wouldn't either. I've got to go out and play.
Okay, I'll take it down a step further. When you were in youth league, did you know who you were playing next week?
By the way, it's good questions you guys had about. I was listening to you guys driving around last night about the Duluth League questions.
About Patrick Creighton?
Yeah, exactly. It was a good question.
I knew my batting average.
Okay.
What was it?
There you go.
I had a little book, and every day I came home, and there better not have been a couple zeros for something, right? It's time to start bunting and beating it out. You know?
I just don't. The player always says, we just tune it out. We don't listen.
See, here's my.
I've had players walk up to me and said, "Why did you say that? Why did you?"
That's a different conversation.
You know, and I look at them like, "Okay, you're telling me you don't listen to what we say?"
All right, that's a different thing.
Is it?
Yes.
Here's what I've contended all along.
Yeah. That's different than standings and all that kind of stuff.
Knowing what you have to do to get in the playoffs.
I bet this is what Zeke knows. He knows that he's 25 yards behind Todd Gurley for the rushing title.
Yeah. He would be. He would know.
He would know that.
I
think he knows that.
Yeah. All right. The limited amount that I played, okay, I knew that stuff, but I was a budding sportscaster. Okay.
Yeah.
I was a journalist at heart, and so I was into that sort of thing. But I think with these professional athletes, I mean, if you're that good,
how about baseball? They get down to the end. They know how many games they've got left and how many they've got to win. And why they have magic numbers?
I think that they are so good at what they do that they don't have to. They don't even mess with a lot of the periphery stuff that we do because
you guys. I think you guys are getting fooled here.
No, not getting fooled.
Yes,
I like I just said. I think general stuff they probably know. Deep dive into how many games this team has against this team? Like, no, they don't know that stuff. Now, I'm
in
with
this
you.
day and age, I would say in 1992 when Bill and Mickey were covering the team, and Mickey would walk up and say, "Well, they've got," Mickey would know the schedule of the Philadelphia Eagles, and then maybe Nate Newton didn't know exactly who the Eagles were going to play. But with the way that social media is nowadays,
if they see it,
you can follow. I mean, these guys follow like writers and stuff. They know what's going on.
Some of them do.
Some
of them.
Tyron Crawford follows me on Twitter.
I think they know when they clinch a division title. Somebody gives them a hat.
Now,
I can't believe this with you guys.
No, I just think that they are so into, like what Mickey says, with their own personal stuff that they don't. It's like with players
at this point in time of the year, you don't think
I think they know what the standings are. I think they know who they're going to play. I don't think they compute the ramifications of this game, and how it affects us.
You sit down and watch Sunday Night Football, and the third, fourth quarter, they put up playoff picture, division leaders.
Maybe they're not
in the
watching
hunt.
Monday Night Football.
Maybe that's when.
Here's another question.
Maybe that's when Dak fell asleep.
How many of the players on the team know what the names of all the players on the team are?
No, their own teammates?
Yeah, their own teammates.
Oh,
I guarantee you there are a bunch of guys in there. And I'm talking about the guys.
Bill, what are you doing here now?
No, I'm talking
I don't know
about
about that.
I'm talking about the guys that get signed during the season. You know,
Okay, so
I'm
like
talking the
Suafilo, he was
Right.
at the beginning. Okay, you're talking about the coup, the corner.
Yeah,
Somebody like
guys
that?
like that who have been signed, or maybe practice squad
hey,
guys.
there's guys on that end, practice squad. I didn't know.
I
Yeah,
don't know
how many? Okay, how many of the players on the 53-man roster can name all of the practice squad guys? If they could walk into the locker room and they know their name,
Now, yeah, that
I don't think.
Hey, I was sitting
very, very few. I bet.
I was sitting in the locker room next to Nate Newton. The Cowboys had traded for Dale Hellestray, and he came
Arizona?
walking through that curtain on the west side of the locker room, and he looked up and he saw this guy coming in with just not a very flattering body. And Nate looked at me and he goes, "Who the hell is that?" And I said, "Well, Nate, you just traded for a deep snapper." He goes, "We did?"
Yeah.
No clue.
That's before Twitter and all that. But where I will
There
agree
were
with,
newspapers.
where I will agree with Brian is
That
were,
I
I
think
say.
that I don't think players read.
when players tell you they don't pay attention to stuff.
That's such BS.
Now maybe they try not to.
oh,
but-
Bob, don't ride the fence on this. You
I'm
know
not
better
riding
than
the
that.
fence. Will you let me talk? Will you let me finish my point?
Go, please.
But
We'll
people-
get to it.
I'm trying to. People tell them things, and I think that's where it comes from. But I don't think every guy reads everything. I believe a little bit of it, but
All right.
when guys will come to you and say they don't like what you wrote, well, they got it from somewhere, So I don't
Somebody
buy all
told
that.
him.
This reminds me of the legend of Ricky Henderson in the baseball clubhouses. In fact, Al Leiter took him around with a TV camera and went to his teammates in the clubhouse to see how many, this is when he was with the New York Mets, how many of his Mets teammates that Ricky Henderson could name, and he couldn't name a single one of them. He gets traded to Seattle or something, and John Olerud was there.
Yeah.
And John Olerud would wear a batting helmet when he played in the field.
Played in the field, yeah.
Okay. And Ricky Henderson goes up to him and said, "Wow, you wear a batting helmet in the field? You know, I played with a guy in New York who wore a batting helmet in the field, too." It was the same guy.
I know that story.
All right, we continue. We actually
Wait, I got one more for you.
Okay. All right.
You said Ricky.
Yeah.
Missouri had a basketball player named Ricky Frazier.
Yeah, I remember him. Played with Steve Stepanovich and Curtis Berry. In
Pretty
that group.
darn good, right? And they were
John
getting
Sunbelt?
ready to play an NCAA playoff game against Notre Dame. And Kelly Tripucka, All-American. Everybody knows who Kelly Tripucka is. So
Adrian
they're in
Dantley,
the locker
same
room
team.
before the game, and Norm Stewart looks at Ricky and he goes, "You got Kelly Tripucka." And Ricky turns and he goes, "Who he?" Had no idea. And it's like they had to give him the number to know who he was going to cover. He had no clue. One of the great basketball players who didn't have much upstairs.
Okay, and we continue with Talking Cowboys, and we're going to take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles and who he coming up next.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for a little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine being shipwrecked on a desert island. alone. Glass like curls of surf pound the shore with Dr. Pepper-colored waves. Surrounded by desire, but you can't drink it because it's the ocean, fish live in there. The only thing you want is Dr. Pepper, and you can't have it.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Crunch time is when you got to stay cool, and nobody's better at keeping you cool under pressure than Tommy John. Tommy John underwear has, why you give me this tough liner again? Moisture-wicking, antimicrobial fabrics. Gotcha. To keep germs and perspiration at bay. That means no discomfort, no adjustment. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. Shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 20% off your first order.
All I did was pick the longest one. I didn't even know what it said.
Yeah, you keep giving me the tough ones.
Hey, IBF welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. is set to defend his title against four-division world champion and current WBC lightweight champion Mikey Garcia on March 16th at AT&T Stadium. You won't want to miss the highly anticipated blockbuster showdown. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticket provider of AT&T Stadium. That's March 16th at AT&T Stadium.
I'm going.
It'll be a good one.
I want to hear this story. Well, maybe another day.
Yeah, maybe another time.
But Mickey, we get a chance.
Almost in the fraternity house.
No, not that story. Didn't you spend money on boxing tickets? We ended up getting free ones. Then the last time you
No, I got a press pass when it was at the Ford Center.
Yeah,
but before that,
Then you buy some, and then all of a sudden they offered them free to us.
300 level, absolutely.
All right, we have
the fight at the stadium.
Yeah, the who was
Pacquiao?
Pacquiao, yeah.
Yeah, Mickey's. Oh, damn.
That might even been a football game too. Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, it was the LSU game.
The LSU game, the LSU Miami
Miami
game. Yeah, that was another one. That's a bad thought. I mean, they're nice enough to provide us tickets. And you think I got to get tickets, and then you get them, and then the next thing you know, like 4 weeks later, you get that email. Hey, would you like some tickets? And you're like,
wonderful.
You just bang your head against the wall.
But I had folks coming in from out of town. I couldn't take that chance.
Yeah, there you go.
That's fair.
All right, Justin Byerly on Twitter asked the question.
Twitter.
Can you talk about the difference Noah Brown has made since being active this year? Is he part of the reason the run game is better, and should he be more involved in the pass game?
I said this on the radio this morning, Mick. I think I was before you this morning. And
I was, because then I found out
my problems. Yeah. To me, Noah Brown, they need to throw the ball to Noah Brown. And I tell you, Noah Brown, Aikman talked about him the other day, watching tape of him and the comeback route he ran. He's right about Noah Brown. Noah Brown Noah Brown's better than just a blocker. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a tough guy. Now, they've used him in some things where he's been in motion and led up inside and dug some linebackers out or taken a safety out of the play. But yeah, throwing the ball to Noah Brown is not a bad option. I mean, they've got – this is the problem that the Eagles are going to run into. They're secondary. They're going to have – if the Cowboys are – I think the Cowboys are better equipped to cover the Eagles than they are the Eagles cover the Cowboys in this one.
Yeah.
And Noah Brown should be a part of that.
And you are seeing a little more of Noah Brown when they go multi-receiver sets. He's out there. I think his snap totals have exceeded Allen Hurns in the last couple games.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not 100% on that, but I think we're seeing more and more of him out there, and it's not just on – running plays. We've talked about what he can do, some of those crackback blocks on some runs.
Yeah, after his first
Especially
game.
when Cam Fleming's playing left tackle.
Yeah.
How old is Noah Brown?
22.
Any other guesses?
I think he came out early.
Yeah, he did.
Definitely came out early.
22.
He's 21.
Okay.
He doesn't turn 22 until a month from now. Mm-hmm. January 6th, he turns 22.
Yeah.
I mean... Oh, I checked that. He is 22. I'm sorry. My math is bad. He's 23.
Twitter. Probably got that off Twitter.
No, I got it off Wikipedia. I just misread it.
So he's 22 years old.
He's 22.
Yeah.
But still.
See, this is where
so young.
This is where the Cowboys think about this now. If you want to play GM guy down the road here, think about your receivers. Get Noah Brown going. 22 years old. Michael Gallup. How old do you think Michael Gallup's? 22 years old? 21 years old, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah. The guy who's your number one receiver now, he's 24? Think about this.
I'll give you another name that I hadn't even thought about. Danny Sarek gave this to me. Cedric Wilson was a guy they drafted that they like, and he got hurt, and he's on IR this year.
Yeah.
But that's another guy who's going to compete next year. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, this is it went from a team that had receiver by committee to like, okay, in 2019, you're thinking, wow, this receiving core might be pretty damn good.
Yep. And Gallup is 22. He is 2 months younger than Noah Brown.
Yeah, there you go.
So Noah Brown, the last 2 games, 20 and 21 snaps.
What's Allen Hurns got?
Hurns 32 and 16.
Yeah, just 16.
Yeah, 16. Yeah, but you're going to need him if Cole Beasley can't go.
Yeah, but his snaps went up when Tyron Smith went out.
Yeah,
right.
Trying to help on that edge.
Speaking of snaps, okay, we want Layton Vander Esch on the field as much as possible. Is that what I'm hearing from everyone?
The masses?
Twitterverse, yeah.
When did he come off the field last week? He was off the field for 8 snaps last week.
They took him off.
They took him off because
they went to the dime.
Yeah,
and
that's when Jordan Lewis
came on. Yeah,
Jordan Lewis was on the field, and so from that standpoint, it was a pretty good idea to have Jordan Lewis on the field on those snaps. I just think it's funny that, okay, we want Layton Vander Esch, and I agree, you want him on the field as much as possible, but sometimes there are packages where a guy comes off the field, then those packages can be pretty effective.
Yeah, and that one was really effective, and they need to figure out something for Zach Ertz this week. Let's see. I mean, they were very creative last week. It felt like that Jordan Lewis was on my guy every snap. But it was only 8, and it was, you look at that line score, it was very much a David Irving, Green Bay Packer line score, from that time where he played a certain amount of plays.
19 snaps, and got Defensive Player of the Week.
Exactly. So,
yes. No, it brought up again the thought of, okay, when Shawn gets back, then how do you make this all work? But again, I think it's going to be a thing where, okay, take this series off. Come back in, and we try to keep everybody fresh and keep everybody at, 40-something snaps.
Maybe you can get even more creative with some ideas. Maybe this last month of the season, you break some of the tendencies that you've had during the year. You've played a lot of games without Shawn Lee. Now maybe you can create some other opportunities at some offenses in this last month, mainly Indianapolis and Tampa, and the Giants. And if you could get into the playoffs, you're creating opportunities to say, okay, we haven't shown this all year. Now you break it out in one of those games, and it wins you a game because you have 8 snaps where they completely take a key player out of the game.
And you have now figured out that maybe Layton Vander Esch can mentally handle things much more than what a rookie normally can.
This is where my worry was, and because rookies tend to hit the wall. Layton Vander Esch's body is telling him it's time for him to get ready for the Holiday Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's telling him he needs to get ready for the Idaho Potato Bowl. His body's telling him that. Because he's but you think about this though a little bit, Brian. He didn't go through all the preseason.
He play hardly any of the preseason
didn't
games.
Really know the
right?
OTA.
Yeah, but he still played 12 games.
But you're still worried about the rookie wall. And, okay, if he were to hit the rookie wall, then you have a guy like Shawn Lee there to kind of pick up the pieces if that happens.
You think that's a real thing, the wall?
My experience of rookies, yes. I think it's a real thing. I really, really do. Now, there's some players that manage to fight through it, and but you see the level of play.
Does winning help you get through that rookie wall?
Mm-hmm.
I think it does. But these guys, you have to condition yourself to play. You ask Layton Vander Esch right now how he feels. He'll probably say, I feel pretty good. But, ask him 2 weeks from now. He's been in a lot of car wrecks. Mm-hmm. If you look at him making a lot of tackles and having to play a lot of snaps, and, I'm sure he's, thinking like, hey, I'm a young guy, but, there comes a point in time, too, where you have to fight through that a little bit.
Mentally, he's ready to take finals and take a month off.
That's right.
That's kind of what you do when you're a college football player trying to get ready for the Holiday Bowl.
It's a thought, especially the position he plays, like you said. It's the most high-impact position other than running back, which, by the way, Zeke said this is the best Wednesday he's felt in weeks. So
because he had a long weekend.
Nobody needed it more than Zeke, I think.
All right,
I bet the quarterback needed it.
Yeah.
Did you ask him?
No, but he'd been sacked 17 times in the last 4 games.
What are we doing about that, Mickey?
I
know. I'm asking.
That's got to get better.
That's a terrible question to ask you.
It's a terrible stat to have to point out.
Do you think that's going to be the
sacks?
And they still won.
Is that going to be the downfall of this team at the end?
Not protecting the quarterback?
Yeah. Is that going to be the one thing that, this defense is playing great? Oh, the receivers, looks like we're getting something with Amari Cooper here.
Had a guy last night come up and tell me that more than half of those sacks are on Dak. I said, half?
I don't know about
I
that.
said, seriously?
I don't know about that.
No, don't go that route.
If you are going to make a playoff run, you've got to
Two of them last week for sure, I thought.
You've got to be able to finish drives however that happens. And that's a part of it because when they've gotten down, I think two of the situations they got in the red zone, or one in each of the last two games they've won, it's been a sack that's pushed them either out of field goal range or knocked them back into a field goal situation.
Or a first down run for a loss.
Yeah.
Or a missed pass in the end zone to a wide open guy, or a drop in the end zone.
Yeah, but
there's been a lot of different things.
Why did he miss that guy?
A little bit of pressure.
Guy was bearing down on him, and he was having to backpedal and just threw the ball up to save from getting sacked.
Been a lot of reasons for it, but yeah, they got to
drop pass
drives. You got to be able to score points in the playoffs if you get there.
Worried more about the sacks or the red zone offense?
I think they go hand in hand.
That's kind of what I was saying. Kind of goes hand in
hand.
I
understand, but if you had to pick one, I know they go hand in hand, but fix one first. Fix one for me.
I'd say fix the sacks.
They're winning games getting sacked, which is incredible.
The red zone offense.
They could put people away if they could just finish some damn drives.
Or figure out how to get them in. Yeah. It's like, can I run it in there, or are they stacking the box where I have to come up with some gingerbread play to get it in there?
Halfback pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or let the tight end on the round throw it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both of them are troubling to me. The sacks, that's troubling.
I mean, it's like having a penalty.
Yeah.
And you don't get the down, and you don't get the down, or you're better holding. At least you get the down over.
This is going to go down as one of the most sacked teams in Cowboy history. Am I right about that?
What's the record? You know,
it was in the 50s, I want to say, and
of course
well
they didn't start keeping sacks until 1982. So
right.
It's just from 1982 on that we actually know the number.
This is not a Steve Pallure, Danny White thing.
I think it's a Steve Pallure thing.
Yeah.
Well, in 89,
yeah.
Aikman give up 11 in one game.
Yeah.
That was 1990.
Oh, that was 90, yeah.
Let me ask you.
Yeah, but he was getting knocked around.
How do you fix the red zone stuff then? How do you fix that?
Do you have to come up with better plays? Or do you have to execute better when you get down
I think a lot of it's been execution. Like I said, the Washington game, a little pressure.
Yeah.
Noah Brown wide open. I know people think they get pass happy down there, and I'd like to see them just hand the ball to your best player more. But I think on one of these red zone drives here last game, Zeke got a -1, or it was a 1 yard gain, and then Dak winds up getting sacked.
I want to say it might have been the Tennessee game when they had those opportunities.
Oh gosh, had 17 points. Yeah,
I want to say the first play, first and goal at the 4, turned into first and goal at the 6.
On the sacks, the Cowboys actually have kept the sack totals going back all the way to 1960, apparently, because they have in the record book, the most sacks by an opponent in a season was 68 in 1964, according to the Cowboys media guide.
What about after that?
And in 1986, with an asterisk by it, 60 sacks. So they're at 45 right now.
The asterisk is probably because Danny White got hurt the second half of the season, and then Steve.
Why would they put an
came
asterisk?
Is that 86? When was it? When was the strike?
87.
87. Okay.
86.
86.
Because that's official. Maybe.
Right. Let me make sure. Let me get my glasses.
No, I'm saying that's an official stat at that point.
I just hope that's not the thing that derails this team.
That they can't protect the quarterback.
That they can't protect the quarterback enough to win these games they need to down the stretch. But they've been giving up sacks and winning, so
that's probably why the asterisk is there, because it's an official stat.
It's an official stat. Yeah.
Well, giving up sacks, and as long as your defense is playing at an elite level, that's holding teams to what you're holding them to.
Yeah, but
there's going to be times where your defense is going to be challenged. I mean, so you got to be able to match them. And 27 points in this first game against Philly, that's, you need to get something like that every game.
You scored 27. I'm sorry, Mickey, go ahead.
I was going to say, no, when you're getting sacked that much, you're encouraging teams to continue to blitz you. You got to make them pay for those blitzes. You can't allow, and that last game, the Saints started coming. They were coming.
Yeah, and that's where that screen comes in. That's the one
Yeah.
touchdown they got was that screen to Zeke.
More screens.
Always seems to work.
Screens are good, especially on your house.
Can you win this game with scoring just 24 points? This game coming up?
Yeah.
You think
24-23.
That was going to be my score already.
Okay, all right.
We do that tomorrow, right?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I jumped.
But Rob, can you win this game just scoring 24 points?
I think the defense has shown that but I'd feel more comfortable if you're pushing more to 30. I think this offense is capable of that with Cooper now and with Zeke. And I mean, they are capable of scoring more than they had earlier in the season. But if you look at the numbers, you say, I think the defense could hold them Eagles to 20 with all the weapons. I know we talked about it this week.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough because they're going to give up some plays probably.
Did you guys think they were going to split this series when you looked at this on paper to start the year?
I annually
Did you think the home win, home road loss kind of a thing?
I go into every season thinking it's going to be 3-3 record. Just
on the division.
Yeah, you pretty much are going to split somehow with every team. More or less.
I was sitting there thinking last night, and I was pumping how good the NFC South was. That's a freaking train wreck over there. You know?
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing that the NFC East, the worst division in football.
Oh no, the NFC South is bad. Other than the Saints,
how good's the AFC East?
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about the teams that Dallas.
Remember our argument about that?
Tom Brady's overrated.
He gets six. He gets 6 games every year.
I'm just talking about the games that Dallas is having to win.
Right.
You know, the games are having to win.
I was thinking 4-2 in the
because
division.
Your point, Atlanta has slipped, Carolina has slipped.
Yeah.
Tampa has struggled.
Yeah. You beat New Orleans.
How good's the North?
Well, that's enough.
Bears are slipping.
Yeah.
Packers faded away.
Vikings.
I'm just focusing on the teams you're playing.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that if I see that one more time about, the NFC East, the worst division in
this
football.
is where you need to play Carolina now.
Yeah, instead of playing
opening day, this is where you need, and you can't help your schedule.
Should have played East Carolina.
This is where you need to play Tennessee, that kind of bit.
But that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Have a young team. Maybe it grows as you go along.
Mickey, you're right about this offensive line stuff, though. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about the sacks. I'm worried about that costing them a game.
No sacks. With 45 sacks through 12 games, they are on a pace to match that official record of 60 sacks in one season in 1986.
Because it's not just the sacks. It's also Dak has
lost
fumbles before, and it's not always on him. I mean, it's just when you get blindsided.
You're right.
They've got to protect the ball better. Well, why is he having to protect the ball? Because he's running for his life. Or the guard gets pushed back into him and raises his hand as he's pulling the ball down and knocks the ball out of your own quarterback's hand.
All right, we're going to continue and go to Joe in
But other than that,
when Talking Cowboys continues in a moment.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for a little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for Tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yep. And now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yep, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper soft coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player can look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Phone hasn't been turned on yet, but we got to get to Jack Black, and we still don't have a read that has showed up again.
You don't need it.
So I'm going to tell you my 4 faves from this morning: the turbo wash, the shampoo, the beer lube, and the post-shower moisturizer.
All right, I've got to purge the visual of Mickey Spagnola in the shower right now out of my mind. Okay, now continue.
Why is that so weird? Have you never been in a locker room before?
Oh, no, nobody enjoys the locker room setting more than you, Mickey.
The locker room, right?
Bunch of old Italian men in towels talking to each other.
Somebody was like traumatized when I talked about the men's locker room, and like when we were in high school or college or whatever, that there weren't individual stalls like the women had, with a curtain. Mm-hmm. You mean there was just a big room? Yeah. And I guarantee
How about those 4 faves, Mick?
In that big room out here, I'm getting there. The big room out here at the Star has that turbo wash in there.
Oh, there you go.
Because that's what the pros use.
Right? There you go.
And if you want to get some of this, you go to getjackblack.com, and there's some promos in there if you use the code Cowboys.
Song reminds me of Georgia Tech.
$10.
The Rambling Wreck.
Shipping is free.
You know where you can find some of those Jack Black products as well?
Not in the shower stall here.
At the Cowboys Club.
Yeah, there you go. There we
go.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Brian's like slapping a cable
that
box that's on the fritz. Like, Mickey, stop shower talk. What about those 4 faves? Come on.
Well, we were getting there.
Back on track.
No, he's right about the 4 faves. So all very good products.
Cowboys Club, huh?
Yep, at the Cowboys Club. That's where we were last night. Patrick Creighton was our
good interview
guest last
night.
Good
interview.
The place was hopping.
It was. It happens the holiday season. That place gets more crowded.
Yeah.
I think there's holiday
great food
parties
there,
going
too.
on there. That's right.
Midweek.
Yeah.
That's right. And by the way, registration for holiday youth camps is now open. One-day camps available for both Dallas Cowboys Football Academy and Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Dance Academy here at the Star in Frisco. Spots are limited, so register today at dallascowboys.com/academy. We were talking sacks earlier. That 1986 season, Danny White he was leading the league in passing the first 6 starts of the season. He was only sacked 10 times in those 6 starts.
Like Drew
And
Brees.
then suffered a season-ending injury. And then Steve Pelleur took over. And the rest, as they say, is history. In the final 9 starts of the season, Steve Pelleur was sacked a total of 47 times. That's 5 times a game. That is a rate of what would be 84 sacks for a 16-game season. And that's why that season went downhill in a hurry.
Danny White missed the game. He didn't get to start the first 8. He missed the Denver game, and it was a surprise to everybody. Here we come out, and Steve Pelleur's got to start. Well, what happened to Danny White? Well, they were running sprints during the walkthrough on Saturday before they left, and they were practicing special teams, and Danny White was running down to get some conditioning in, and he pulls a hamstring.
So how much did he play in that game?
He did not start against Denver.
Okay, because he had 7 games, 6 starts. So my point is, if he played significantly in that game,
he missed 2 starts.
Okay,
in the first 8.
Okay,
and then that was the 9th game, and he got knocked out. I want to say it was the 3rd quarter.
Okay, yeah. All right, let's go to Joe in Annapolis. You're next up here on Talking Cowboys. Joe.
Yes, gents, it's an honor to share the line with you guys. I'm a huge fan. I've been listening for a long time. I got a couple of things and then a question for all you guys. So the one, in the beginning of the season, all my avid Cowboy fans called me crazy for predicting this team to go to the NFC title game.
Okay.
I predicted them to go that way because it seems to be whenever
Oh, no.
he's fired, he surprises us in some kind of way. So I still hold on to my prediction that they will make it to the title game. The second thing I wanted to say is I don't understand why the idea of 55 coming off the field is a good idea for any kind of rotation. I was in attendance at the game in Landover here in Maryland, and when he was off the field, there were a couple missed tackles, and the Redskins scored their only offensive touchdown of the game. And we were all in the stands wondering why the heck was number 55 off of the field when he has been the team's best tackler all season. If we're going off of history, why didn't Tony Romo get his job back? Shawn Lee has not been Shawn Lee of the old. He has not been playing at that level. Leighton Vander Esch has been playing better than Shawn Lee. And the last thing I will say is, has anyone ever asked Dak Prescott about wearing any kind of like hand gloves or anything like that? Because he seems to be flimsy with the football from time to time. And I appreciate all you guys, and I will hang up and listen.
He needs some stickum.
That's right. Needs to see Fred Biletnikoff.
Yeah, back in the day.
Or who was the DB that had it all
Lester
over?
Hayes.
Lester Hayes, not only all over his hands, his face.
Everywhere. Number 37. He had all over his number and stuff, too.
He put it on his jersey so he could wipe his hands and get some more.
Shawn Lee not playing well?
I don't know about that.
He's played well.
We all kind of cringed when we saw that, right?
Oh.
Shawn Lee's been hurt. Let's be honest there. I mean, I'm not honest. That's fact.
Mick, you got those stats over there?
Well, he's got 35 tackles, and I bet he's only played 5 games, maybe.
Yeah. And I nobody appreciates what Leighton Vander Esch has done more than me. I know everybody in this room appreciates Leighton Vander Esch. Learning curve very small. He's come in. He's played with instincts. He's been physical. He's tackled. I mean, he's done all things. Intercepted passes. He's doing things that when Shawn Lee was healthy, Shawn Lee, and I get it, folks. Shawn Lee's not the same Shawn Lee, but I still think having options where guys that can make tackles, and Shawn Lee can make tackles. Shawn Lee can make instinctual plays. Shawn Lee can create turnovers. That's why I want him to play against Philadelphia, because those games against Philadelphia, he's always made plays against these guys.
Played 4 games and 17 snaps in the 5th.
Yeah.
And he's got 35 tackles.
Yeah. So my
trust math tells me that's 9 tackles a game.
Yeah. I don't want to. I'm not trying to beat the caller down. I'm not. But I give me as many of those guys that I can get. And if it's taken Leighton, Leighton Vander Esch, I mean, hey, the first Washington game, I'm surprised the game that was in Landover, I thought that was one of his worst games, to be honest with you. I mean, he didn't get off blocks worth a damn in that game.
Which game?
The game, the Washington game in Landover. I mean, that was not a great game for him if you watch by his standards. What we've seen
Tennessee
here.
wasn't either.
Yeah. So, I mean, Leighton Vander Esch love, totally get it. Totally get it. Been a great draft pick for this team. And he's been a great addition to this team as far as playing. But Shawn Lee, let's be real careful about throwing dirt on him.
Yeah, and look, fans see the future, and it's exciting. And it's the present right now, too. But it's not I think the caller mentioned Romo. It's not the same situation. This is not sitting Vander Esch down for 0 snaps and having him hold a clipboard.
Vander Esch only had 21 snaps in the Washington game.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with adding a guy who's been an all-pro in this league into a rotation. That can't do anything but help your group, not hurt your group.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I don't see the downside. I really
give me
don't.
as many. Give me as many players as that guys can make plays. Let's see this defense with Chris Richard and Rod Marinelli have shown they've come up with some creative things to do. I mean, they're playing. Think about this. Overall, David Irving. What have we got? What have you got from David Irving so far?
Like 2 games?
Nothing. Just to say nothing. Okay. What have you got from Taco? Really nothing. Have you? Am I wrong about this? Really nothing. I mean, he was a starter early, but what have you overall? Nothing. How about what have you got from Randy Gregory? Things have improved from this defense. I just named 3 guys that you would say, "Hey, I need something from these guys." But you got guys like Ross and the Human Log and Reed. These guys are making plays.
Malik
Collins, yeah, making plays.
Playing through stuff, too.
Yes.
So Taco finally put a jersey on
Yeah.
He got 4 snaps.
4 snaps.
Yeah.
4.
See, that's what I'm saying. This defense is playing well, but I need more guys. I need more. Give me Shawn Lee out there. I wish David Irving was out there playing, but he's not. I wish Taco was playing better, but he's not.
Speaking of Shawn Lee, the note in my column that got delayed getting put up yesterday. Yesterday was the 8-year anniversary of his breakout game in Indianapolis. 9 tackles and 2 interceptions of Peyton Manning and 1 return, 35 yards for a touchdown.
That ended the game. Or was that no, that was early in the game.
It was early.
The second one, the
kind
second
of brought him back, I think.
Yeah.
8 years ago?
It was 2010.
Yep, the rookie season.
Yeah.
Vander Esch,
and he really hadn't done
14 years old back then, probably.
Let me just say this. If Shawn Lee goes out there and flops around and doesn't do his job, Shawn Lee will be the first one to admit he doesn't have it.
That I'm not ready.
That I'm not ready, that I shouldn't be on the field. Shawn Lee is not going to sit there.
Why is this such a
hot topic? Because, again, they see a guy, they think Vander Esch's fans think he's going to be an all-pro.
And he
may very well be one day,
yeah.
and he might be a Pro Bowler this year. Who knows?
Right.
But by the way, also, Shawn Lee didn't practice yesterday.
No.
So that's not
I
a
don't
good.
think Shawn Lee's going to play. No, he's not going to play.
I mean, this is a discussion that probably could carry over to next week.
Oh, sure, but the caller brought up about Shawn Lee.
Yeah.
And I understand folks' passion for Layton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. I get it. They're playing great. Every time we do a post-game show, it's 10 tackles, 9 tackles.
Yeah.
12 tackles, 11 tackles. I mean, these two guys are playing really, but you don't want to add maybe a 9-tackle guy to all this too? Another guy that could potentially get you? I mean, I don't quite get that.
People get hung up on the starting stigma.
It's just different than quarterback. You can't make the same comparison. Romo never played another snap until the whole field was decided. Yeah. It's different. Way different.
1989, they were down the tubes already, and Jimmy decided that it was time to start Tony Tolbert at defensive end.
Never looked back.
We're looking for next year,
Yeah.
right?
And who was playing there?
Ed Too Tall Jones.
Yeah.
And he was going to get benched, and his starting streak was going to end. And you never seen more furor in the media about how can you do this to Ed Too Tall Jones? Da-da-da, da-da-da. Jimmy finally threw up his hands. He goes, okay, Ed'll start. I think he played the first series.
Yeah.
Then Tolbert went in and played the rest.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, and Ed was embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
It was like he knew he was done.
Yeah, Shawn Lee will be the same way.
Right.
If he gets down to the point where Shawn Lee doesn't make a range play or misses a tackler in space or doesn't cover a running back out of the backfield, Shawn Lee will be the first one to tell Layton Vander Esch, you go play today. I mean, he's got a lot of pride and all that, but Shawn Lee's a team player. Right. He's done nothing but try and help. And Layton Vander Esch said that yesterday so much in the locker room.
Told us he's a big brother to me. I feel like I've known him my whole life. That's how supportive Shawn has been to Layton so far this year.
Absolutely. Shawn Lee understands trying to win. He knows I bet you he knows what the situation is.
Oh, I'll guarantee you that.
He knows what the situation is.
Have the Cowboys ever had a player coach?
Player coach.
Player coach. A player who also was on the coaching staff. Like
Dan Reeves?
I want to say Dan Reeves.
Dan Reeves.
I think Dan Reeves.
Dan Reeves, yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I think Shawn Lee is headed for that role.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically coaching now.
Yeah.
But
I think
I wouldn't be surprised if we have a situation where Shawn Lee is a player coach.
Well, he's going to be a coach. He's that Northwestern guy.
You know who
he's
else?
the head coach at Northwestern.
Kennedy.
Pat Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald.
He's Pat Fitzgerald. If Shawn Lee gets into coaching, he will become Pat Fitzgerald. He'll go someplace. Team will be prepared. They'll be tough. They'll have high quality kids. Mm-hmm. He will make sure a program. He's Pat Fitzgerald if he coaches him.
All right.
You know who else?
Penn State has their eyes open for
why not?
Shawn Lee.
You know who else did it?
Who?
Jerry Tubbs.
Yeah, Jerry Tubbs. That's right.
1960.
That's right.
61, 62,
That's
somewhere
exactly
in there.
right.
Yep,
And he
sure
went
did.
right into
Before
coaching on the
Leroy
staff just
Jordan
like Dan Reeves
took over.
did.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right. We will talk at you again tomorrow here on Talking Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!